Hello, I'm Jannel, the owner of Unorthodox Business Club, and I'm shooting moves with Detroit Bay.
All right. So, actually, very interested and intrigued by your space here today. We are, as Janelle mentioned, we're inside of Unorthodox Business
Club.
Club here in what is this considered? This is Detroit.
This is
not.
Detroit. Yeah, we're right on the borderline of Highland Park, so sometimes it'll come up as Highland Park. Most of the time it'll come up Detroit.
Yeah.
Tax-wise, it's Detroit.
Okay, so we're just south of 7 Mile
Yes.
on Woodward.
On Woodward, yeah.
And this is actually right next door to the water station.
Absolutely.
Very prime location, and you just had your soft opening the other day.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That was with T-Barb, and tell us about that event.
So that was my premiere opening. I had T-Barb and Candace Smith. T-Barb was our comedian for the day, and Candace Smith was our, I guess, hip-hop violinist. So I picked those two to do something different.
Yes.
I felt like it was unorthodox.
Yes.
And they roared the crowd. Had a lot of support, more than I expected.
Well, that's always good.
Absolutely. So,
well,
yeah.
Congratulations to you on that once again. And so that was your premiere opening, like a soft opening.
Yes.
So when do you anticipate like your real grand opening?
So I'm trying to get things and events booked for September.
Yes.
I am not a big social media person, so
Okay.
I've been a mother and a wife for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So it's getting the name out there. So right now, I'm doing more promotional events for the space. We do have a Dream Cruise weekend coming up.
Yes.
So we will be hosting the pedal bike riders on
Okay.
a Sunday, and then hosting a car show on the Sunday to align Woodward and, come out and support.
Yes, and so what weekend? That's this weekend?
That is actually the weekend of the 20th through the 22nd.
Okay, I think that, I mean, obviously prime location, but events like that kind of helps to just bring you into a community of things that you wouldn't necessarily be privy to or associated with. So
Absolutely.
Just off your location, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so with included in your event space, your venue is an actual bar.
Yes.
So that obviously means you have a liquor license here.
I do. So, yep, we are. We're actually pending. So that's why we're not as far as like grand opening. But I just talked to my investigator today, and she was submitting my paperwork. So by September 1st, we should be good.
Awesome.
But if not, I still can get the 24-hour license.
Okay.
Yeah. So this won't be a yearly license, but absolutely we're licensed.
You can still just make it work for whatever
Absolutely.
you need to do.
Yep.
Because you're case by case or based on rentals anyway.
Absolutely.
And worst case scenario, you could do like the cabaret style.
Absolutely. BYOB. Absolutely.
So you also have a kitchen. So is that something you incorporate into your different events?
Yes, so the kitchen, the space, everything is kind of individualized, available for renters. So my purpose, because I know how to cook up a little something, but my purpose is not to be in the kitchen, at the bar, and running the club at the same time.
Exactly.
So for those who don't have a space, I would like to provide them with a space, whether it's meal prep, whether it's cooking and making their own financial, step up to financial stability and get their name out there and branding. So, yeah.
It's all about access for you, creating access for people within the community.
Yes.
And I think that is really commendable because there's so many, I wouldn't say stopgaps, but it's kind of like sometimes stuff can seem so far-fetched. Like, some people think they want to do the food truck thing, but I think that it takes so many steps to get there. But if you can have access to a space like this where you can do a kitchen and, do plates and build your reputation up, then, that's to your benefit.
Absolutely.
And it saves you money.
Absolutely. And, most people are like, why you do it? Like, oh, just come on, use the space. And why? What's the price? There is no price. Again, we are a nonprofit, but it's to also, my overall goal is to bring this to a membership base.
Yes.
And so it gives me the leverage for people to come in and see the place without that
Initial
advertisement.
investment.
Yeah. So you know, different folks know different people, and you know, we'll all connect some kind of way. So somebody coming to pick up a plate from whoever's cooking in the kitchen may be like, oh, this is a nice place. I want to do something here, or how can I? Or a birthday,
Exactly.
you know. So
help spread the word about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to you as an entrepreneur, like how did you get started? Like, I know you mentioned this is 501c3. Like, just talk about that process for starters. Like, is that a difficult process to go through?
So it can be intimidating, but it really is not. You just have to read a little bit. It was really, really easy. Even trying to obtain a liquor license, I mean, my original goal when I first bought this building 5 years ago was to purchase a liquor license. But of course, like I said, they want your firstborn son and $1 million. And I didn't have it. So, you know, liquor license right now, because Wayne County is a court of state, they're like real estate. So even though a liquor license to purchase it newly, it may cost you $70,000, but because there aren't any, you can purchase a liquor license from someone else for $250,000 or $300,000,
Wow.
and they may not even be clear. They may have tickets and everything. So I studied that, and I got a little discouraged, and I said, well, there's got to be other ways. There's other events and people popping up with bars and stuff like that. So, you know, how? And I really just dug into the book and read it. And I said, oh, you can get a club license with a 501c3. I had been sitting on two, but one of them, which is Acts of Kindness, was really mature. So it was 6 years mature. So I used my Acts of Kindness
As
nonprofit
leverage.
as leverage and as an umbrella for Unorthodox.
Okay.
So that's how we were able to establish it. And when I told you the process was fast, literally, I started in, I think, March, and the process went from there. It was like an update every 2 weeks. And so now we're at the final stage. I had my investigation, and paperwork is submitted. I'm just waiting on a certificate.
Yes.
In no order from the commission.
Okay. So talk about that. You mentioned that it was a 5-year process for you. Like, was that just because you wanted to take your time and go about getting the building together in a way, or it was just like, since you're a mother and a wife, it's just like a process?
Both. Mother and wife are foremost the first thing.
Yeah.
And then commercial, I'm more so into real estate, but residential, but I also hold commercials. So I already have one successful business, which is Curves by Design.
Yeah.
It's a laser lipo body contouring studio. And so 5 years ago, I had just created that baby.
Okay.
And so I am like the creative one in the relationship. And so I was giving my husband a break on the bank account. And so I'm like, okay, what we're building is prime location. Let's make a club. But after I got discouraged with the liquor license, I was like, you know what? Let's sell it.
Yeah.
So we put it on the market for $30,000. Now
Wow.
I bought it for $5,000.
Yeah.
But they tried to nickel and dime me. And even though I bought it for $5,000, I still knew what I had that was worth it.
Absolutely.
So I let it be. And once COVID hit, I was just like, you know what? We need to do something with this building. It's nothing here.
Yes.
You know, along this, it's the water station. We got the holistic station, and Dutch Girl Donuts. There's nothing, no other action right in this area.
Literally.
So I had recently was working on another one of my properties, and I said, I think this will be the easiest to do. It's small, you know, let's make that the start of something. And we did. And I didn't have to break my bank. I literally took from my other business to birth this.
Okay.
So, and I have some pictures. I don't know if you looked, you can look online, but as of March, this place was empty, gutted, and you would have not known, like, this is what it looked like. I mean, no walls. It was straight through.
Yeah.
Just gutted.
So, like, getting into a space like that, was that kind of like, I don't want to say discouraging, but do you feel like it's just so much ahead of you that it seems so far of a reach to get to the point that you're at now?
For some people, it could. I'm a hands-on person, so I'm not afraid. I have on lipstick with a hammer. And so I'm not afraid to get down and dirty. I will hang drywall. I don't wait on anybody, you know, and
cost effective too.
exactly. You pay for what you don't know. So a lot of this stuff, you know, me, my husband, my father, we kind of did it ourselves. I mean, and we were in here day and night, the kids running around screaming, eating everything, you know, but those are the sacrifices you have to do. But the dream came true. And it wasn't $1 million away. And that is my goal. If I could
be an evidence and a story for other people.
Yes, it's not $1 million away. It is very possible to do it all. So, and if it's any way that I can help them be motivated to do so, then this is what I'm here for. Whether it's helping find the business, helping find you contractors that can do it, where you're not paying, you know, $20,000 to get your floors done. I did my floors myself, and it cost me, thank you, $500. You know, so yeah, you know, and it's those things that I want to tell people, like, you know, you got to share, because the next person don't know. I mean, I really want to teach or show somebody how to do this, because there's a market out there for it. You know?
Yeah, since you speak on it, I mean, like you said, the lipstick and the hair part, I think that is, like, that could be a whole lane for you, especially, like, with the YouTube being a sensation when people doing a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. And, I mean, I know you got a lot on your hands, but it just made me think about how you said, like, the $500 aspect and just it coming out so well, and like you said, the information piece, because people just don't know and they get overwhelmed because they don't know. And, I think that with you already having a successful business, that kind of helps shape your view and perspective on how successful you could be. Like, you don't easily get overwhelmed.
Oh no, I'm ready for the next project.
Exactly. And that's a beautiful thing. So I did look up and I looked you up on YouTube, and I did find your channel, and I'm like, wow, is this her? Because, you know, some people have the same name. So I wasn't sure. But you said you started that business about 5 years ago? Okay.
And I started in the living room in my house. I mean, I was already a licensed cosmetologist for 22 years. And a correction officer. I'm a cancer survivor. So, you know, I got a whole story. You know, you'll be like, girl. But yes, so in the midst of all that, it was like, okay, I'm a mother. I get bored really easy. So it was like, what can I do? I didn't want to do hair anymore. I wanted to do something different. And so my kids have really bad allergies. I mean, they're allergic to outside. So I got into like holistic therapy and essential oils. And a lot came across with these med spas and the lipocavitation. So I dug into it a little bit more, took a class in Texas, and that was the start of it. I went a little further for, they were using more so like home devices. And because I was a licensed cosmetologist and I knew how to maneuver and outsource to China, I bypassed the US to get my machines, which were medical grade machines, and did my laser lipo.
Wow, so bypass, like, how does something like that go? Like, it's really just like the information piece, or?
It's just information, and it's, I'll say, risky. I mean, the average person probably wouldn't be comfortable with sending $5,000 overseas and not for sure if they'll get their merchandise back. But you know, scared money don't make money.
That's a fact.
And you know, so I took that sacrifice, and my machine was there in 7 days, and I got started. I was practicing on family members, husband, anybody who will let me. And even my husband, he was like, he is a great supporter, but sometimes he'd be like, babe, I don't know, you know. But when he seen it, he was like, wow, that's amazing. And even still to today, you know, he sees some of the videos like, wow, that's a same day results. Like, that's amazing. So, you know, it's still a great business to get into. You know, there's not many people out here doing it. this year was a great year for actually body contouring.
Very true.
Because a lot of women are now into cosmetic surgery.
True, and
so
looking for alternative methods that don't require a lot of downtime.
exactly. So this, I mean, I can get you 2 or 3 inches off your stomach in 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll be on your way to Miami, being a beach babe.
Exactly. So is it just because it was kind of like so much of a wave that made it ideal for you to get into the field, or it was just something like a personal experience and you're like, I could do this?
It was more so, I did not really like the stay-at-home wife position. I needed to get out, especially watching Coco Melon all day long. So I did need to get out and kind of be around other people. So that was one of my drives. But of course, I can do this, you know.
Yeah.
I had a significant weight loss myself, losing 100 pounds.
Wow.
So, you know, I understand the self-esteem issues that women go through. And after losing 100 pounds, I had 3 kids after that. So,
Wow.
you know, still, I mean, somebody just said, "Oh, you're so small." I said, "That's because I haven't been pregnant in the last 2 years." So, you know, my kids are 2, 4, 6, and 8.
Wow.
And yeah, so my household's crazy, and I got a monkey. So, you know, yeah, we all over the place. I'm serious.
Wow.
So, yeah, so things be crazy, but you know, I think we kind of like that chaos and the challenge. You know.
It keeps you busy, like you said. You're a creative person. So.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, mentally, I'm all over the place. I'm asleep, but I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking in my head. And like I said, I'm ready for the next project. Even though, you know, I'm getting this off the ground, I'm still like anxious, like, oh, what's next, you know?
Yeah, so what are considering what's next for you? Like, have you thought of any things that you would want to get into?
Oh, yes. So I currently have a church that I bought that's on Wyoming, and I have a Liver Noise building that's about 10,000 square feet. So I thought about a couple things with them, maybe a indoor laser tag.
Okay.
But Wyoming, I'm looking for more a community center.
Yeah.
For the 48221 area code.
Yeah, because where are those these days?
Yeah, where are they? Just a space with maybe 2 or 3 computers where a person can come in and print off a document, get notarization, you know, get help with homework, how to read and understand your documents when you got to deal with somebody like a FEMA or PPE loans and stuff like that. And free of charge, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, all these things that you're saying just sound like answers to questions that needed to be here already, but they just don't exist. And I think that sometimes we depend on external sources, like either people that are coming in as investors into the city, or people that are a part of the city but just don't do it as the people who will provide the solutions, but it just never happens. We see a lot of stuff coming into downtown, but the inner city, like Detroit proper, is just still so desolate.
Yes, I think we are forgotten about, and I think we lack the community togetherness, as I'll say, it's helping one another. And I want to bring that back.
Yeah.
You know, just checking on your neighbor, you know, if they're down and stuff like that. I mean, these are things that I do daily. I'm always it's just in my heart, you know. And sometimes I think about more out than I do in, you know. I put myself on the back burner before anybody else.
Basically, you have to check yourself sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm just that giving person, not to expect anything back in return, because I don't like the word no.
Okay.
So I am a go-getter, and I'm one of those stubborn persons that'll do it myself, but I'm always willing to help. So if I know any information, I'm one of those probably big mouth persons, be the first one to be like, oh, let me tell you about this. This is how you can do this. This is how you can do this.
Yeah. I literally just saw that happen before my eyes. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. And so even when I began, me and my husband is from Israel, so we both build together. Like I said, I retired from Indian Creek Correctional Facility in 2009, and I met him in 2011 on Match.com.
Wow.
And we built our real estate, and we literally bought our first house for $2,500.
Wow.
And we fixed it up. We put about maybe 5,000 to 6,000 in. You know, it needed the basic stuff in Detroit. You know, plumbing, kitchen sink, and stuff like that,
Yes.
and a window. But when I finally fixed up my home, I realized that I didn't want to raise my kids in a community where there were other abandoned homes, and I felt like I couldn't let my kid ride his bike down the street. So me and my husband was like, my husband's into real estate. He said, let me see who own these homes.
Yeah.
And he was used to working out in Bloomfield Hills.
Oh.
So he cross-referenced and did a search, got a hold to one of the guys who own the property across the street from us. And he was like, oh, this is my mom's property. She died. I don't want it. It was behind in taxes. He said, oh, okay, well, how much you want for it? The man said, give me $500. He said, I have another house around the corner. You can have that one too for another $5.
Wow.
My husband didn't have to look at it. He said, okay. He give me write the deed. We signed the deed, and that's where we started. And then the next year, we fixed those up, and they were both two-family flats, and leveraged from that. In our next year, we ended up going to the Wayne County auction, and we bought our first 14 properties for, I want to say $19,000.
Wow.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, stuff like that, being in position to do stuff like that, like, that's life-changing for one, but you just have to have the vision.
You do.
And the patience. And I think that it's important to know that you do have to have the capital. It doesn't always take so much. You have to kind of, like, be reasonable and do the research and figure out what's going to work for your budget for starters.
Absolutely. Because with the real estate, I can say, when we did figure out, like, oh, okay, we can get these houses this cheap, and literally the houses were $500 to $5,000.
Okay.
Most of them under $5,000. A lot of them we kept, a lot of them we sold, and we bought more. But what I would tell you, even with owning so many properties, there is the backlash about it, and it's every June and July, I'm sad, because that's tax time, you know. So don't get in over your head, because just think of what you have to pay your taxes on your one house, what I'm paying on all of my houses. So.
All right, so just to go back to the 501c3 process, I know that there's kind of like you can't do like if I just as an individual person wanted to do a 501c3, I can't exactly do that. Like I have to have people a part of the process, like it's not chair people.
Well, you can be a 501c3 by yourself, and
yeah?
that's you will want to fill out a 1023 easy, and that shows that you make your charitable contribution. And you may want to just donate and give out book bags, just you and some people in your family. So you'll be like the sole proprietor of it, president, and you hold the chair, you the treasurer, you know. So yeah, you are able to do that. You just wouldn't fill out. I'm not sure what the other label of it is, but I know it's the 1023 easy that you want to fill out, because you'll be under 50,000. Yeah. And so usually you don't, if I'm not mistaken, like just say you did 500, you were not that active. You don't have to file taxes. You just have to submit a form, and it'll keep you in good standing so that your nonprofit is not dissolved. And so you can be up and going one year, not active another year, and then doing something the next year. So it's definitely possible.
Yep. So it's just doing the research, staying on top of your paperwork, and so you can stay in good standing.
Yeah.
So I know you're not very active on social media, but considering things are going to start picking up in September with your grand opening and rollout, tell us where we can find you on Instagram, and also about your body sculpting business on YouTube, your channel on YouTube.
So for Instagram, more so active on there because I have to upload my clients' pictures and stuff, so you can see before and afters of those weekly, usually at least twice a week. And that is Curves by Design 313 and on Instagram. And then for Unorthodox, you can contact us through the website, which is www.unorthodoxclub.org.
Yes.
And on Instagram, we're Unorthodox Business Club.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. So, you know, we post pictures. I'll post events and upcoming things that we'll have going on. So,
yeah. So stay tuned and make sure to lock into your social media channels. I did want to ask one more follow-up question about you being a mother and a wife. Like, I think that so many people kind of like limit themselves as to what they can do. Maybe they get overwhelmed. I know that everything's personality based. Like, how do you incorporate the familial structure into like the business structure? Because it kind of like goes hand in hand, almost like everybody can be a helping hand to the process in a sense. I mean, obviously the little babies, you know, they just kind of show their face and take pictures.
Yeah.
But, you know, how do the two correlate for you? Like, how do you make it all work and not be frustrated?
Support system. My husband is a great support system. I mean, he's here, but he's not here. He's out in the back with the kids, so they won't be running around. But, you know, he is my backbone. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Shout out to Mesh.com.
Absolutely. But like, I would love to have him right here, because it's not just me by myself, you know, doing this, but somebody has to take care of the kids. And instead of just throwing our kids on, you know, someone we don't know just to babysit to do this, my kids have to come to work with me sometimes to see the grind, to see the struggle. My kids are very appreciative and very knowledgeable that mom is working, you know, and understands, you know. So there's times when I'm here or I'm in the books or on a computer, my kids are like, Mom, when you come home, like, you're going to be really happy. Your bed is made because I know you've been working hard. So you don't have to cook today. You can just get us a Happy Meal, because, you know. So it goes. It's organized chaos, but
it's rewarding.
It is rewarding. They see their mom and dad doing something, and they know, you know, business already. And like I said, they're 2, 4, 6, and 8.
And I think that even just them, like you mentioned, them being in the environment where they have the chance to have that hands-on education, like, that gives them such a great advantage when it comes to dealing with society and like their like scope of things, and just their ability to decide, hey, I know that I could do X, Y, and Z because literally my household has done X.
Oh yeah, my son, during the premiere opening, he like, so Mom, so that means that I can make my epoxy weapons and sell them because I want to be an entrepreneur? And I said, absolutely.
Wow.
You sure can. Sure can.
Well, here's to that, and I really appreciate your time with me here today. It's been great getting to know more about you and what you offer here, and continued success to you.
Thank you.
This is Detroit Babe signing out.
Hey.
Thanks
bye.
for your time,
All
Jannel.
right. Thank you.